Margaret Gardiner from Hollywood. Nick, this guy has a million servants running around him. It made me wonder how good you are taking care of yourself. Do you do your own washing, your own cooking? Uh, does somebody else do that for you?
I do all of that. I do all of it, begrudgingly. I think I would live much better if I had 1,000 servants like helping me like Peter does. Um, no, but yeah, we were brought up in a household where you kind of had to learn to take care of yourself. Not that we were neglected, but it was like my parents were like, you can learn to cook if you're hungry, you can make food and you can do your laundry. So um, it's made me very self-sufficient.
It's a great skill to have. The food on the show is fantastic and also a little dangerous sometimes. How good a cook are you, and what's it like eating that food? It can't be delicious.
The food, actually, we're very fortunate on this show because my character is a little bit of a foodie. He always knows the menu, and that's something that I love about him as a character. It's something that I think came from Tony McNamara, the writer, because he is a real foodie himself. So that's one of his characteristics that he's placed onto Peter. And luckily, we had a really great food team on the show that did make very tasty snacks. And I like eating on screen. I like eating in general. So I was in heaven in many ways. My first ever job acting was eating cake on screen, and now kind of 25 years later, I'm just getting to eat more cake and delicious food on screen. So
The,
it
the
goes full
trend
circle.
continues.
Yeah.
Um, there's that scene that it just intimidated the heck out of me of you walking down the corridor naked with all of these people trying to avoid looking in a particular direction. Have you
Mm.
always been comfortable with your body? Did that take special courage to do?
The nudity thing was interesting because I spoke to Tony about that scene beforehand, and obviously it's not something that you particularly want to go to work and walk naked down a corridor in front of a group of people. It wasn't high on my list of things to do at that time. Um, but then I read the scene and I understood kind of this version of Peter that we were playing in that moment. This kind of born again, thinks he's survived a near death experience and he's changed and enlightened, and what that means to him. And found the scene very funny upon reading it. But it's odd, when you turn up and then there's like 50 extras in the longest corridor you've ever seen, and you're Starkus. It's an odd moment. It's an odd moment. I don't know how else to describe it really.
It was very impactful, I
I
thought.
didn't I didn't spring out of bed that morning.
Um, the other thing about your character is he's accustomed to getting whatever he wants. And he even gets to have his best friend's wife. So I was thinking, as a movie star, to some extent, you must have women throwing themselves at you all the time. Is that like really difficult because connecting on a real level might prove much more difficult because you know, you may be uncertain of a connection initially, even if you feel it.
I mean, it's very nice of you to say that, but the reality of my life is that I don't have women throwing themselves at me everywhere I go. I think maybe I'm hanging out in the wrong places. Um, but yeah, so I don't think so. I mean, and that's just I think that's a difficult thing for anyone in life at the moment is connecting on any basis, partly because of obviously the current circumstances of what's going on, but also just because of how the world works now with technology and relationships. It's become a very different dynamic.
Could you just tell me very briefly how you're managing during stay home? Have you developed any special skills? Um, we spoke to
I've
Colin Farrell and he said he was missing touching people, tactile hugs.
Yeah. Uh, what have I haven't developed any special skills, to be honest with you. I've got a 2-year-old little boy, so that's a majority of the time is taking care of them. I think any parent can appreciate that this stay-at-home time is more about, I mean, time that I'm very grateful for because I get to watch him grow and be here with him. So yeah, a lot of my days filled with that, and I get cuddles there, so I'm fortunate. But yeah, no new skills or anything particularly. I'm trying to, stay ready for when I do go back to work and kind of focus mentally and reading books and watching things and kind of preparing in a way. for who knows what and who knows when, but just kind of, just making myself feel active.
Thank you so much. I can't wait to see the next season.
Hey,
Stay safe.
nice one. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In a bit. Bye.